Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Parnell Jonathan. You watching Too Blunt TV. And this right here is how we kick it. We're about to go over there with my man Edgar at Sneakergreet. About to meet and greet with him, man. Ask him some questions. Get some dope footage. We out. Slat.
What's going on? It's Edgar from Sneakergreet. What's poppin'? Too Blunt TV.
Not much, man. So tell us, so how'd you get started with this?
Sure. First, Sneakergreet, we started in 2012, so it's kind of funny how we started. Originally, I'm from Boston, Mass. Born in Boston, raised in Cambridge, Mass. Shout out to my city, Cambridge. Definitely. How we started is I used to be a nightclub promoter and manager for a restaurant in Cambridge, Home Restaurant, and I used to do a lot of events. My son, who now is well over in his 20s, at the time he was like 13, and came, in his young teens, came to me and wanted to buy a pair of sneakers, and was like, I need you to buy these sneakers for me, but I'm gonna give you the money back plus.
Okay.
So I was like, what's this all about? Okay.
Yeah.
Sneakers release were, I believe it was the Concepts When Pigs Fly. It was an SB Dunk, pink colorway. It was pretty dope. And, at the time I was always into sneakers because they used to come to my basement and go to their grandmother's house and see some old sneakers, or I'm always wearing fresh kicks at the time, and but I didn't know there was like a crazy scene where kids was either flipping them or reselling. And I was like kind of always wondering too, like, why are you buying sneakers from people when they not new or whatever the case. It's around 2012, so I was like, I didn't know the phenomenon. I knew there was a value in kicks, but
Hey yo, I'm King Lazarus, you're watching Too Blunt TV, and this is how we kick it.
So I was like, all right. Gave him a pair. He was like, do you want a pair? I said, yeah, He was like, I gotta sleep outside to go get these shoes. And it was around Thanksgiving, so I was like, okay. You want to sleep outside to get a pair of shoes? So I was like, all right, cool. Gave him like $140, whatever the case was. 3 days later, he came back, gave me my 140 plus 50 on top.
Yeah. And then that's when you realized what the resale value was at. Is that when it was? That's when it clicked in you? Or?
So I didn't know about the resale value per se just yet, but I realized that there was something that was kind of bubbling that, okay, he didn't. He didn't lose on this, and I started seeing like a lot of kids involved in this thing, and so I had asked him mostly the questions. And it's funny because I used to go to these stores and see these sneakers on sale. The best story is I went to buy a pair of Jordans. They were a pair of Team Jordans.
Team Jordans, okay, all right.
And I bought them for it was like a one of those 70% off sales.
Okay.
I was like, hey, Jordan, shit, I'm gonna buy them and just.
But there's some smooth Team Jordans out there though.
Not these ones.
I just want to let you know.
And I remember, no, those Lee Team Jordans, but these ones, they were not it. And I remember buying them, and he's like, nah, Pop, they gotta be the number Jordan retro so. And I sat on them and sat on them and sat on them, and that was always the funniest joke. But anyway, I digress. I saw him building on something. So he talked to me, he's like, Dad, there's this sneaker show in New York that I really want to go to. We could buy a lot of shoes, and I could sell a lot of the shoes that I have. You know, can you take me? Well, I was like, sure. You know, we used to take trips all the time to like New York or whatever, wherever the case may be, and anything he's interested, I'm gonna support. So I was like, all right, sure. You know, I bought the tickets online. We went, and it was actually our first sneaker con.
Okay.
It was actually probably the first sneaker con. As I remember meeting Alan for the first time, you know, and it was in like a little, literally like in a restaurant.
Right.
And it's funny because one of the guys from Boston who owned a consignment shop was at that show.
Okay.
But we didn't know him at the time. But I remember he was when we come to find out, he was at that show that we had went to first. This was June at the Buzzer, right? Alston. Joe's still my man to this day. Cool dude. Now it's Kimchi Poppy. Go check out the restaurant. So shout out to Kimchi Poppy.
The boy real big, Sneakergreet, helping you get the fly kicks 101, motherfucker, 101. Watching 2 Blunt TV, and this is how we kick it.
You know, artists like Uzi Vert, Lil Yachty, and so I got into my promoter bag as far as bringing the SoundCloud artists.
Nice,
it was
nice.
popping really well.
And around what year was this?
What year was that? That's what I'm trying to think. So we're in 19. I mean, it all goes. So I want to say about 5 years ago.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
They were in the SoundCloud bag around that time.
Yeah. 5. Yeah, around that. 6. Yeah. So, and at that time there were other sneaker events going on in the city, so I was kind of like still in the game. I was still reselling shoes heavy because I used to have the connections with all the stores and the whole, cats hate to hear about the backdoor situation, and I call them relationships. Some people call it backdoor, whatever. And back then the resale game was crazy. Like, I mean, we would buy literally full size runs and be able to flip them like crazy. Like,
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was way better than it is today.
Right.
I think I mean, cats is doing their thing and making some money, or some making good money off of it, but it's just not the same.
Do you think the reason why it's not the same is because it's oversaturated?
I think it's oversaturated.
Yeah.
I think it's oversaturated.
It's more of like a fad thing. Like, I feel like
people buying a pair of sneakers for $200 and then flipping them for $250 is not really a flip.
It's not. Nah, it's really.
Then you have to buy them in bulk, and then sometimes you sit on inventory, and then you sit, like back in the day, it was like I would buy, say for sneaker was like $200, I get it for $3, but I'm selling for $5.
Right.
Or even more, like double, or used to get them for a discount, but because I'm buying full size runs, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get spoiled when you're in that game early too. Yeah. Because for me, I think that's what it is for me. I'm a little spoiled because I used to get them such a good number and then flip them up such a good number. I'm like, why am I gonna do that for just whatever?
Right.
Like, I have other ventures that allow me so much more that to me, I don't want to sit on anywhere from 36 to 60 to sometimes 100 pairs of sneakers to wait to make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't make.
And I don't have time.
Right.
Hey. So SoundCloud. So we went from there. We were bringing Playboy Cardi.
Okay.
To an event. Ian Connor. ASAP. ASAP Bari to DJ. And that show was gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
But it was gonna be bananas. Like that was gonna be the show that shut down fucking Boston. Like I literally had like even locally, the local artists that I had that were supposed to do that show. We had Lino.
Oh shit.
He was gonna do Lean for. We was gonna have Cardi stop the show, Lean for Sale. Stiz come out, bring him out. It was, I had the Smash Brothers get rid of.
Yeah.
With that show was my ultimate banger show.
That's dope.
Unfortunately, something happened at the venue a week prior and it was shut down.
Really? Yeah,
man. We got the call from the police and was like, yo, we're not opening up that venue for the whole weekend. There was my show. There was another sneaker event. My competition sneaker event that Saturday. And then there was a wedding on a Sunday.
Oh, damn. This wasn't...
They just was like, we can't open up the venue. We're afraid that, there'll be, Villa Victoria, for y'all don't know, if you're watching this other places, it's a dope venue space, but it's kind of in the hood.
It is in the hood.
It's in the hood. But, surrounding areas, people come from all over to come to the venue. It doesn't matter if it's in the hood, people will still come. White, black, Chinese, whoever, as long as the event's dope, they're going to come. Police, though, are afraid of any retaliation because there was an incident that they didn't want any retaliation that would cause undue harm to anybody who's going to participate in the space. So they gave us a call and we couldn't do nothing about it, and I was scrambling literally for 2 days trying to find a space for my concert. Couldn't find a space. I was gonna do it at one venue, and then at the last minute, and my events were all ages events.
Okay.
Which at that time is tough because Boston wasn't really fucking with all ages, only at one space, and that was at the Middle East. But that one was already booked. So the artist still came. We literally canceled the show on the spot. It got out of hand. It was kind of chaotic. That was my biggest show. I put up so much bread for that show. It was unbelievable, and I lost probably 3 times as much.
We bought 6 of loss, right?
And it was a real bad hit, and I just feel, I always to this day when I even talk about to the artists yo, that shit was was a bad, DJs was upset, and Cats was tight, but so it's one of those things that happened in Boston. And this is pre the dope wave parties now. Now you can throw any party in Boston, they'll do anything. It was kind of the first ones to make those things happen. But anyway, but with that, I took a little bit of a hiatus. It's funny because the sneaker event that was going to do that Saturday, they were panicking too. Oh my God, we need a space, and I ended up hooking them up with a space to do their event because it was in the daytime. It wouldn't interfere with another nightclub's nightlife. So I was like, all right, let me call my mans, gave them a space, and they did their sneaker event, and it went off with a hit.
What's up?
In this sneaker game, it's always been community. We all promoters, but we all look out for one another, right? You come to my event, show love. I come to your event, show love. It's all love. Fast forward, it turned into more competition, which is cool. And now it's kind of every man for himself, which is, again, capitalism. Never frown upon it. It's just, sometimes you gotta remember where you came from. But it is what it is.
So what are some of your favorite sneakers? What's on your top 5?
Man, my sneakers come in my favorite sneakers come in waves. It comes in eras in time, you know what I'm saying? So it's back in the days, I was a big Adidas dude, right? We from Boston.
Of course.
And, threes up. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, shell toes, top 10s, yum yums for us old heads. You know what I mean?
I remember the yum yums.
Shit, I remember in school we used to rock Adidas cleats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. I mean, I'm an older cat, so back when I was in high school, cats was rocking Adidas cleats
Word.
to school.
That's swaggy right there.
We get them from Harry the Greeks for like $30 a pop, $35 a pop, or $40 a pop, and crystals. You know what I'm saying? We used to go down there.
Crystals downtown.
Yeah.
Crystals, the shit. Photograph.
Yeah. So that was that wave, and then you know you got your Nike wave where it was like the Huaraches, definitely Jordans. No, let's not even get to Jordans. Right? Nikes. So it was the Huaraches, the Agassiz, because it was all like the flavor. You wanted your sneaker to have like flavor. It was like the colors had to match it. Windbreaker used to rock. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it was like all about how you put it together. And that's the thing with the sneaker culture. It's about the flavor, like how it looks.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's never like, oh, I just gotta rock this one particular. I'll rock Asics if the flavor is right. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it's always been. You know what I'm saying? You always dress from your feet up. You know what I'm saying? I get a fresh pair of sneakers, then your jeans, your top. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta match.
They gotta not matchy, but it just had to blend well.
Word. Gotta.
You know what I'm saying?
Flow.
So, and then you got your Jordans. I'm always a Jordan 1 guy. I always been. I always been a 1 guy because it always remind me of the Air Force Ones.
Yep.
The style was kind of the same silhouette, if you will.
The dunks too.
And the dunks.
Dunks, yeah.
In my hood, I was the only cat to rock dunks. Like, cats would be like, yo, those are my white boys sneakers.
They were thinking about SBs.
The SBs, right?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, but look at the colors on these. These are fresh. And I used to go to Concepts, you know what I'm saying, when they were back on, when they were on Brattle Street, go downstairs, and I used to go in the back and see the fresh colors. And I used to always, like, even the rods, the P rods, and all those flavors. Yeah, they were skater sneakers, but I like the colorways.
Right.
I'd be like, yeah, that color looks good with this, and rock it with my, you know what I'm saying, Woolrich, you know, jersey or whatever, the button ups or whatever. So it comes in waves, and then now, I mean, obviously, we brought it back to classics. So now cats is wearing Jordan 1s, but you know, like, then there's inspired sneakers like the Off-White comes from the Jordan 1s, and then you have your Yeezys. You know, Yeezys a big sneaker now. I like what they did with Kanye, with him getting the Kanye is able to get his royalties. Mind blank, still early in the morning.
It's all good.
But yeah, so it's all about what you're rocking and, you know, just keeping it fresh. That's what I like.
So tell us about your over there at Wonderland.
So I wanted to just bring it back around to the basics of how we used to do events. I have done events off and on where we did pop-up events in like art exhibit spaces. I did a few at the Artists for Humanities. I did one in Central Square where we gutted out a space. I had graffiti artists come and do artwork on the walls and open it up to the public. We've done free events. And then with this one, I kind of just wanted to bring it back to the essence of where we started, right? So it was like the Wonderland Ballroom, you know, bring the artists out, have the people come through. Like, for the people who hadn't experienced that, they come see what it is. For the people who remember what we was doing it, we do that again. And we looking to just do it again. Like, it's a good event. You know, we're definitely on a grind back up again.
Okay.
But with that too, I'm also opening it up to other aspects of the game, because I feel like the game is definitely changing. You know, with so many, like you said, it's oversaturated with either everyone being a reseller. So there's resellers that's selling to resellers that's trying to resell.
Right. Doesn't make sense. If you're gonna resell to.
And then when you go to these other events, it's just one type of event where they just come in, walk around for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then leave because they wasn't able to sell their stuff. My events, I want it to be more interactive. I want it to be like an event or different type of vendors. You know, we started doing like cats who do thrifting. different type of collectors,
Okay.
art. It could be so widely. It could be wide open for different avenues for people to come and enjoy, especially if it's an all ages, event for, all ages and families. This last one, I want it to be like a day event, like a day party, sneaker event. I find like a lot of people who are at these day events, especially in Boston, these shows tend to be separate, right? The other guys that are doing their shows caters to a lot of young kids, but the vendors have all the shit that we rock. And like, I'll go to a party and they'll be like, yo, what's up? Can I get these off-white, the blasey blah, these easy X, Y, and Z's? And I'm like, yo, you should come to these events because that's where you're gonna find them easier, and you could probably get a good deal because at the end of the day, a lot of these resellers will bring their pricing down.
Yeah, that's true.
At the end of the shows, that's where I get the best deals. Either early in the morning, early in the event, or right afterwards.
So be patient out there. If you want to copy, just be patient, man. You'll get yours.
But the best, so my idea is I want to open it up for other avenues, and I have some ideas this year, especially 2020. Basically, it's gonna be like a complex con meet sneaker event meets concert meet.
Oh, okay.
So we working real hard and really
all your expertise into one, man. So like, what events you have coming up next? Or
so with that, like I said, with the expansion, we're looking to start have a new rollout for the new year. We're planning that now with a lot of different vendors, and then our sponsors. And then early in the new year, we haven't pinpointed a date because we're gonna bring it back to the Wonderland. But then with that rollout, we're gonna have a whole new approach, not new approach, but just added approach to what we're doing. Yeah.
So you sound like you're real business minded. You have any advice for any young entrepreneurs out there, or anyone who wants to get in the game or promotion?
In anything you do, and this is true, and I've learned this myself. Even if you think you're not gaining, or you think it's lowing, but you feel like it's something you still want to do, stay consistent. Consistency is what's gonna break you through that lull of, oh shit, I don't know if this is working. If you're consistent, you plan it out, you will become successful. That's the best. Consistency is the key. Work hard, be consistent. Stay true to what you're doing, stick to your passion, be good to people around you. Always want to be good to the people around you, because those relationships could come out, come to help you at any point in time. But consistency is going to be the thing that takes you over that hump and make you successful. Yo, this is Edgar from Sneakergreet, and you're watching 2 Blunt TV, and this is how we kick it.